Let's trim a string in C. So first thing we're going to do is show you an example to get you interested. In main, we have stack string, which has padding on the left and right. And then we have heap string, which is a trimmed version of it allocated on the heap. We're then going to print it off so you can see what that looks like in the console, just to get you interested. So we're going to run our build script, and we see stack string, padding, heap string, no padding. Let's go over the function. So trim copy to heap. It takes a string allocated on the stack, returns one on the heap that is a trimmed version of that string. The first step is finding the inclusive bounds of the string. I0, the first character, and I1, the last character. 0 and 7 in our cake example. Step 2 is to check for errors. I'm going to crash if I find empty string, because I have no use for empty strings. I never use them, so I don't want to deal with that potential edge case. I'm just going to crash. Step 3, we're going to back up 1 to make life easier. So I0 is going to back up 1 to -1, which is out of bounds, and then I1 is going to move forward to rest on the null terminator. This is going to make step 4 a lot easier. So in step 4, we're going to scan inward until we hit a wall. So I0 moves here to here, and then hits a non-blank character, so it stops to rest on C. I1 moves back to here, moves back to here, and then it finds non-blank character, so it rests at E. The logic for that is right here. Now we're going to get the length of the trimmed string. So I1 minus I0 plus 1 will give us the length of the string. String length equals I1 minus I0 plus 1. We then need to allocate some memory for that string on the heap. We also want to make sure that the last character of our string is a null terminator. So we have a nice diagram for where everything goes right here. This would be C, A, K, E, and then our null terminator. We need to loop in parallel on both strings so we can copy over the data. I is going to go from I0 to I1, while D goes from D0 to D1. And as we loop, we're going to go copy this to here, A to here, K to here, E to here. Before we begin our loop, we're going to subtract 1 from each of these indices so that we can put our increment logic at the top of the loop. That's just the way I like it. Then we're going to copy over the data. The last step is to check for errors in our program logic. If I does not rest at I1 and D does not rest at D1, then we've made a mistake somewhere. This might look trivial and stupid, but it actually caught a mistake I made the first time I ran this program. It might be better wrapped in a macro, like a if debug block maybe, but I find that to be a premature optimization, so I just avoided that boilerplate code. Then we're going to return the string that was allocated on the heap, which is the trimmed version of the string. Lastly, let's go over the isspace function. We're going to cast to unsigned character before we call isspace. So this is just a wrapper to prevent bad things from happening. If you don't do this, you could end up with some undefined behavior. There's some explanations for as to why. I've put a link right here for what I've read about it. And then there's another link right here. I'm going to pause here on the build script so you can take a look at that. And always, you can email me here if you want the source code.